So I know this 30 days, pretty much the month of February, we will be doing Whole30 here, most of us. And it's not a diet plan. They actually petitioned to get it off of the list of diets because it's not meant to have you lose weight, although some people have lost weight and inches. The whole point behind it is to kind of reset your system and start learning about how to feel when you're full. And in my opinion, I think it's going to teach my body to use proteins and healthy fats. Oh my goodness. So, that's good, huh? So, my phone's popping out at me. It's going to help me use all the foods for bettering of my life, my energy level, and those sort of things. So, today is day 2, and I can say that on day 1, at the end of the day, I felt more awake. One of the things I've noticed in winter, and here goes my phone again, one of the things I've noticed in the winter season here in New Hampshire is my mood will often kind of degrade throughout the day. I have stopped having coffee, one of the things before this Whole30, I let my brain wake up and get rid of that fog before having coffee. That started to help a little bit. It's something I think I heard of on, might have been on one of Mel Robbins' podcasts, but it might have been on someone else's too, I'm not sure. And basically you need to let your brain fog go away and not have any sort of caffeine for the first, I think, half an hour to 45 minutes after waking up. Another good bonus that I started doing was getting some daylight for 10 minutes to 20 minutes in the morning, even if I'm just standing outside with the dogs playing. Like, I'm not doing anything but standing and just staring at the light. On the colder winter days, I might just stare out the window as I'm watching the sun go up or the sun go down, depending upon where I can see the sun. And some days you can't see the sun, but it's still that natural light. I'm trying to retrain my body to get more in line with the natural world, and it's working. So now we're doing this Whole30, and we're going to remove a lot of those added sugars that are in our diets. I had no idea how many foods had added sugars. It was like a nightmare. It wasn't really a nightmare because that's kind of has a negative connotation. It actually was fun and fascinating, but also frustrating. For example, if you're looking for sugar-free bacon at a regular grocery store, chances are you're only going to find turkey bacon. So I have to get some bacon online to get my pork bacon. If I want some of that sugar-free, you can get that online. There's a bunch of meat places, if you're eating meat, that deliver big boxes of meat that are Whole30 approved, no sugar added. So that's pretty cool. I might take advantage of those in a week or so. But for now, we're just kind of trying to stay within a really tight budget. When rent is due, that time of the month, everything's kind of, we're still trying to get used to paying $300 more in rent than we were paying at our last place. And it's weird because it's like $300. I wouldn't think that was a lot, but it is. It is, especially when the cost of food has gone up. So we're now like in month 3 or 4 here and still trying to figure out a budget and what we're spending on food. And then I go and change to Whole30s figures. But I will say that on the first day of Whole30, I actually felt more awake. My mood didn't disintegrate for the day, which it often does. It actually got better and improved. And at the end of the day, I noticed that I actually felt pretty level. I didn't feel too hyper happy. I didn't feel too sad. I didn't feel lethargic. When bedtime came, I was ready for bed and I fell asleep. So I'm curious to see what day 2 does. But for now, I want to let you know that I know if you're going to do Whole30, they say that first week of no sugars and none of the breads and grains sometimes can give you this crash. I think my husband's actually experiencing a little of that because he was having more of those grains and sugars than we were and than I was. So I'm not really experiencing that, but mind you, I have said in other videos, I have done other diet changes throughout the last 4.5 years, and this was just another step for me personally. So I'm definitely not a dietitian or a nutrition or doctor, but I'm just sharing kind of what I'm going through, what I'm doing. And I think later in the week, I'm going to share more on my freelance writing side of the life because that's slowed down a little. So I have some openings to write for bloggers, and I would love to introduce you to what I do for a living, which is essentially writing for bloggers. So on top of the diet stuff, later in the week, I'm going to get back into talking a little bit more about business. I got to go let the dogs in because they're barking at a squirrel. Love you. Talk soon.